Good morning! I have a class at 10:30 and now we will get ready for that. Today is the first day of this semester and I only have one class, which is Italian political system. And to be honest, I'm kind of scared because it's like you start from a really disadvantaged place compared to your fellow classmates. So now the fact that I have to be like, oh, during the First Italian Republic, it was actually like, not to mention how difficult it is for you to grab the concept and then you just have to go and take an exam about it. After the class, I have a few free hours, then I will go to a training for something in the upcoming months, but I won't talk about it today or in this video. And before leaving, since I have some time, I will also be studying some things. My next exam is in like 10 days, so I can say I'm pretty chill. And also, most of my remaining exams are math-related things. Not because I do it with a lot of passion, but I think math just has a particular clarity to itself, so that you don't have to worry about everything. I just see it as a pleasant activity to do, just like Sudoku. You know what's going to happen. It's just everything is so clear. So while it's not something I would voluntarily do, I still think it's really fun and not that difficult. I started out with the Italian political system material and kind of tried to understand topics. And also I did my daily Swedish exercise, which consisted of writing down some vocabulary and expressions, which I'm going to come across and following this while listening to the podcast. I'm back. It has been a really long and tiring day, and I didn't even want to go out and socialize with other human beings today, but I realized no one asked my opinion, and I had to go there, so I did my job. And it didn't even feel bad. You're a sign that you don't always have to listen to your feelings, especially if they're about your obligations or things that you want to achieve. As I showed earlier, I've written down some Swedish vocabulary, and now I'm not going to do something new to revise them because those are from a podcast episode that I will be listening for the rest of the week. So I will be learning them by listening. And this is mostly how I do with Swedish because when you have that many things to do, Swedish can't be your biggest priority. So this is just my weekly Swedish exercise, but sometimes if I feel like I do extra things. And also my current read is a Swedish book, so maybe before going to bed I could read a few pages. Now I'm going to complete some other things from my to-do list, especially for today. I think I can skip Dutch because until I complete B2 I'm trying to do it on a daily basis, but today it's no urgency, so we will skip that, but we still have German and Finnish. I especially want to do Finnish because it's so fun. I feel like learning something and it just makes me feel so great. I don't think if I would have time to do some university stuff because I've studied that enough today, and also I don't like studying after midnight. I think it's giving poor time management, and also having a healthy sleep schedule is more important than getting everything done. So now I'm going back to my desk. We will start with 2 pages from this. And today's exercise is basically a reading exercise about Hochbegabung, so gifted people. So today it's going to be relatively quick. Gehirnstoffwechsel steigt also bis zum 14. Lebensjahr stetig an. Gehirnstoffwechsel. Die geistige Entwicklung kann sozusagen verkümmern. Also waste away. Degenerate. Yeah, Freundschaften können schnell verkümmern. Now I'm actually done with this, but it's been only like 20 minutes, so I will do other stuff as well. Normally I compensate my remaining time by watching documentaries, but today we only have like 20-25 minutes, so I'm going to read this article about the exact same topic to see that if I'm going to practice any vocabulary or maybe like potentially learn something new. So now I'm going to import this one on my link account, so it will be easier to read and see new vocabulary. Here, the highlighted vocabulary means that you have never encountered those words before, but as you can see, most of them are pretty simple words. So now we will read and see if there are actually words that we don't know or simply those just appear right now. Wie äußert sich eine Hochbegabung? Darauf können Eltern achten. Rückblickend sagen viele Eltern, sie hätten die Zeichen sehen können. I love this one. I actually know this and understand this, but I'm still going to save that because I don't think it's super familiar to my brain. Wir haben großen Spaß dabei, weil sie sich austesten und an ihre Grenzen kommen können. An ihre Grenzen kommen? Was ist das? Come to their limits. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but I wouldn't be able to use this myself, so I'm still going to save this word as familiar. I feel like this is such a practical way of learning, and in order to really master those words I have saved, I could go back to this exercise anytime, and you could import not only articles but also YouTube videos or your own documents as well. I'm done with reading this, so tomorrow we will get back to this text to revise the say vocabulary, but for the rest of the day I will just practice some Finnish and then call today. Esimerkiksi sateella. Silti huussi on tärkeä osa mökkitunnelmaa. Mökkipäivä on yleensä rauhallinen ja yksinkertainen. Tämä tekee elämästä rauhallista ja yksinkertaista. Mikä on suomalaisille hyvin tärkeää, sauna rentouttaa ja sen jotkut suomalaiset saunovat jopa aamulla ja illalla. At this point I think if you learn something about sauna and relaxing and like forests and strawberries, you are most likely fluent in Finnish. Hyvinvointivaltoja. I had a really slow morning today. I was listening to this Swedish episode from yesterday earlier, and then I was just reading some magazine. I really love reading magazines because it's so low commitment and so aesthetic, and also Vogue comes in different languages, and like it's always so interesting. They have great recommendations and you can always être au courant of the fashion world. Today we have a really gloomy weather over here and I'm just not feeling super good. But then I'm thinking to myself like, okay, you have a lot of things to do, but if you keep thinking about them and do nothing, and you must have a better idea than scrolling at home because it doesn't even make you feel good. I think being stagnant and stuck is just the worst feeling when you don't take action, when you don't do things. It always feels so bad. I don't know. So I've kind of noted down what I could realistically get done today in order not to overwhelm myself but still make some progress. First, I decided that I could start studying French linguistics because although February is not a typical exam period in our political science faculty, I'm also doing some facultative classes in the languages faculty, and apparently they have an exam period in February, I guess. So there are two calls for French linguistics and Scandinavian languages. Since I'm more knowledgeable when it comes to French linguistics and just have to read a few articles and just comment on them, I will start preparing the first part of the program, and as for the second part I still have to choose what I want to do, because we have two options. And then I have to do some math exercises because I low-key have an exam in 10 days and haven't made much progress yet. So it's going to be my top priority for the day. Then I want to keep reading my Swedish book from yesterday and also do my daily German practice, which equals to 2 pages from my textbook, and also just practicing it normally. And today I haven't planned like a typical Finnish study session because I'm already quite overwhelmed, and so instead of that I just want to listen to Finnish while commuting or while I'm doing other tasks in the background, so I can still say that I've done something in Finnish today, but I don't feel like dedicating 1 hour to study Finnish. So now I'm going to the library to get at least a few hours of work. I started with French linguistics, and if I had to admit,
it was kind of scary because it was more about Greek and Latin than it was about French. But I hope it's just limited to the introductory part, because after an hour of studying, I could only finish a few chapters. It was kind of overwhelming, but I still enjoyed learning more about the French language, if we can say that, or like Western languages in general. Then I took a small break to have dinner, after which I started studying statistics. I did a sample exam paper and it wasn't that difficult, thankfully, because I'm kind of scared of this exam, and at this point I feel like I have to pass it, and I have to pass both modules and not only one. Then I went with my typical German exercises, nothing difficult. I was just reading a text and answering some grammar questions. In total, I worked a bit over 3 hours, but it just felt so productive. I already feel more organized with my studies. On my way back, I listened to a Finnish podcast just as language exposure, but it was so comprehensible that I was pleasantly surprised. And then I also listened to evening news in German and read my Swedish book.
I'm back. I can say today was a really productive day. Now we will go back to yesterday. As you can see, I've saved 10 words. So now let's read again to see if there's any improvement. Sozialverhalten oder Reizverarbeitung. No, I don't exactly remember what this is. Yeah, I will leave it like that. Kinder, die nicht genügend intellektuellen Input bekommen oder nicht ausgelastet sind, challenged, right? No, not quite. Yeah, I recognize this, not really in the correct way, but revising it on a daily basis or regularly just helps you to acquire all those words in a more natural and effortless way. If you're looking for an easy and useful way of learning vocabulary from real-life content, link would be one of my biggest recommendations. And if you'd like to try it, you could check the link in my description, because it's going to provide you with 40% off for a yearly subscription on the platform. I think you will really appreciate it, because I feel like it's your personal vocabulary system that constantly updates itself, so it takes away a lot of work from your side. Now, before sleeping, I still have to do some writing exercises from today's pages, because I didn't feel like doing them in the library. And I just collect all of my C2 writings or preparations on one file so I could revise them as I keep preparing for the exam. I will try to work on them, trying to come up with some ideas, and also trying to actively use the related vocabulary that I recently learned about this topic. So I've only done one of the exercises because I didn't want to be too harsh on myself for today, because I think even though I didn't feel like that, I still did enough job and I managed to be productive. Before going to bed, I could still read or maybe watch a few things, but nothing too much. So hopefully you enjoyed seeing these 2 days with a lot of work and confusion, and you can follow me on different social media accounts to stay updated, and most especially see you on next week's video. Bye!